All right, welcome back to the channel. So we are chasing a F-250 out of Georgia. Started this last week and I did not start filming this one because it was kind of a last minute decision within a couple days and I wasn't really gonna turn it into a big deal. But I won this truck last week at 5,100. I think my pre-bid was 52. Insurance company turned it down. Well, they offered me back, I think, 9,000. And I said, absolutely not. They turned it down and put it back on the auction. They put it on iBuyFast, okay? So anytime you see a vehicle on iBuyFast at IAAI, that means that nobody in the United States or overseas, nobody in the whole entire world, literally, wanted to pay what they are asking. So the iBuyFast price is what they want. When it was at the auction, nobody wanted to give that. So they put it on iBuyFast trying to get that, even though it obviously is not worth that. So iBuyFast cars are always normally, especially if you're starting out until you learn the unique situations, iBuyFast cars are terrible vehicles to buy at terrible prices. Normally always 9 out of 10. Anybody who's been doing it for a while will know what, will tell you that.
So this is what we got. We got a 2017 F-250 Super Duty. Now, this one has a couple negative things going on with it, which helped me in the value, hopefully getting into it. First off, as soon as you load it up, if you look right here, you can see no fog lights. So you automatically know that we're on a lower trim level. That's a dead giveaway. The black grille right here, the plastic black grille, that's a dead giveaway. We're on a lower trim level. So this is actually an XL, so basically a work truck. But it's still the body style I've been wanting. And then there's one more thing about this that helps. See, like right here, down the bed, it looks like it has some scratches and stuff like that because it was probably a work truck. You can see the radio is just a base model, basically, level radio, all that stuff we know can be upgraded. Of course, vinyl floors. The dash airbag is blown out of this one. You can see right here. So that's a big down, side to this vehicle because the whole dash has to be replaced in this. Sorry, my brain kind of went, I'm about to show y'all something else. So the whole dash has to be replaced in this thing. All right, so we go to the front end. You can see, like I said, there's nothing going on here. It's just a base model truck. Now, this tow hook does appear to be pointed up more than this tow hook. So you can see how you can see the top of this tow hook, whereas you can't see the top of this tow hook. So I believe this rail right here has some damage on it. I don't believe that it's too deep. I believe it's probably just in the front, it's kinked up, or it's just in the actual hook part itself. But you can see right here popping in the sun that it's actually like a green color. So it looks black in most pictures, but it's actually like a green. So one thing that's helping us is it has 198,000 miles on it. So that's a positive on the buyer side when you're buying for yourself. Higher mileage helps to keep the dealers away, helps to, keep them, off of it. But you can also see by this dash that, it is a XL dash. It's a pretty basic truck, but there's no crank windows, so it does have all power windows. It has the vinyl seats, not leather. It's just like a vinyl, I'm pretty sure. So we'll go back to this screen. So as you can see, it is salvage in Georgia. The keys are present, but it doesn't start. So no clue why. It could be severe damage, or it could be something as simple as their jump box was dead and they just didn't want to mess with it. But either way, that helps us also. That brings the value down, but it also is more of a risk at the same time. So again, the mileage helps us. Then the other thing that's helping us on this guy right here is this 6.2. So that is a gasoline engine. So this is not a diesel. I currently have a diesel. Everybody on the channel knows that I've had diesels, and yes, I wanted the 6.7 to go up, but we are working on just stepping up. We'll see what happens today with this bid. Let's see here. I was gonna see where we're at. So I held this thing at like 1,300 all week. So well, the past couple of days, and then this morning, obviously right before the auction is closed now. The pre-bidding is, and I closed winning it at $3,725. So last week I closed it at $5,100. So I was closing a little higher. If y'all watched my second YouTube channel, Exotic Salvage, I have quit that channel. I haven't posted on the channel. I haven't done nothing with it. but we were on a roll there for like the first 25 videos teaching people in depth about the auction and stuff like that. And if you remember, if you did watch that channel, then you remember that normally when these pre-bids, come in the first week, they're higher, and when the bids are higher, and then when these insurance companies get greedy and they don't want to let these vehicles go, sometimes it kicks them on butt for the second and third run. Now, the fourth and fifth run, sometimes you spike back up. But it seems like, week 1, week 2, maybe 3, the same kind of group of people might have their eyes on it and are going to give about the same. Sometimes people get irritated and they bid on it 1 week, they don't win it, and they move on and they buy another vehicle, or they spend their money elsewhere. And so sometimes that's the reason why bids come down. But by the time you get a couple weeks in, then you might have new eyes on it, new people finding it that are just hopping on, to look for something. And then sometimes that's how they can trend upwards. So you never know what's going to happen. There's no rhyme or reason, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that today I closed it at a lower value. The insurance company did want $10,000 for it. It sat on iBuyFast all week at $10,000. Obviously, nobody's giving $10,000 for this. I think the blue book on this thing is only 12 to 17, so 14,000 in the center. See right there, my max bid right now is 52. Current bid is that I closed at winning 3725. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that we might be selling Duramax. I know if you followed that series of building the Duramax, we actually never finished that series. We actually never finished repairing the Duramax. It's been an excellent truck, no issues, but I haven't actually finished none of the body stuff. So it's going to keep my auto bid in until 52. I won't have to actually do anything past 52.
Talk to you back and forth on Facebook about the rims.
That'd be me. I'll be there in 1 second. I'm in the middle of bidding.
I didn't think it was going to go higher than that.
It's at 44.50 right now. Last week I closed it at 51, so it's if bid this week at 44. Well, it is Friday, or is it Friday? It's Saturday. Man, my mind is just freaking fried. And we are at the shop and nobody's here. And there's a reason why we're at the shop on a Saturday and nobody's here. Because we are waiting for a transport. Look at Ed's whip. Ed went and bought that Beamer for himself. All right, so what happened with this whole gig, let's get this computer woke up, was that I closed it at, what was that, 44? And the insurance company, last week I closed it at 51. I put a max bid of $5,200 on this truck last week. Okay, so I was willing to give $5,200 for it last week on the bid, not with fees and everything. And so this week I actually closed it at whatever that was just on the screen. Today's Saturday, that was all the way back from Wednesday. So that was, I think, $4,400. And they countered back last week when I closed at 51. They countered back at, they wanted 9,000. Okay, I said no. I turned it down. So they put it on iBuyFast for 10,000, meaning you could go in there, click it right now, and buy it for 10,000. It sat all week. Nobody would give $10,000 for that truck. It come back up for auction Wednesday. You see what happened with that. This week I closed at, only the 44. And so they lost, money compared to if they would have just took my 51 last week. But these insurance companies get greedy. So they countered back. It was a couple hours afterwards, or hour or so afterwards, they countered back at 51, I think, or 5,000. 5,000, that's what it was. They countered back at 5,000 flat. And so I decided to gamble it. I had to think really hard about this. Last week I was willing to pay 52. I closed at 51. They want and take it. This week I closed at 44. They want 5,000. That's still $200 below what I was willing to pay last week. But I decided I would push the envelope and, see if it would go in my favor. Now, the problem with pushing the envelope in this, let me go ahead and warn you in case you're new to this, is that let's say they wanted 5,000 and they would have turned down my 44. They counter back, and I have a chance to counter back. So let's say I counter back at anywhere between 44 and 5,000, whatever you want to counter at. If they turn that counter offer down, then they could go put it on iBuyFast for, let's say, this week 55. Let's just say they did that. Now, I don't think this truck would have survived a week
sitting on iBuyFast for anywhere in the 5,000 range. Most of the time when people see these 17 and up body style trucks, they know they're going to bring a lot of money. So some people, like even myself, often we just scroll right on past them and we don't pay them no attention at all because we know it's not worth our time. But if one's sitting on iBuyFast for only 5,000 or something, I think you'll get snagged up. This is what happened the week before. The other week, there was one that I had wanted, and I let it sit on iBuyFast, and somebody bought it literally the day before the sale. So it sat there for 6 days, and then all of a sudden it sold right before it come back up again. So I knew that if they put it on there for iBuyFast in the 5,000s, that I would probably end up having to either A, gamble it and wait out a week, or B, I'd have to go ahead and buy it for the 5,000. So it could end up by countering them back below the 5,000 mark. It could hurt me because then I could have to go ahead and make a purchase. You know, like say they counter back at 5 and they put it on it for 52. I'd probably have to purchase it for 52 on iBuyFast the following day just because I'd be scared that it would never make it a week and I would just lose the truck completely. Or I'd have to be willing to lose the truck completely and wait a week. So I thought all of this out. I mean, you have to be willing to lose these vehicles, and these vehicles don't mean too much to me at all, but it is nice to get, newer vehicles, even if you're switching from, a different motor or something. And I was like, you know what? I have a lot going on. The motors blew up into Comet. I know that's going to be a big repair bill. I don't really need this truck. I don't need the headaches. I don't need, have to deal with the financial hustle of the truck because it's debt only temporary. It's a hustle to flip it. You've seen how we've done the other ones on the flip up series. This is continuing the flip up series since I sold my black F450. And I was like, let's just gamble it. So I countered them back at 47. I decided just to try 47. It's about in the middle of 44 to 5,000. 5 o'clock rolled around, 5:30 rolled around, which IAA closes at like 5 o'clock. This is in Georgia, so this truck was in Atlanta, Georgia, so it's in the same time zone as me, so I knew IAA was closed. Now, as a dealer, we do have to sometimes handle our offers after hours, but it's only up to so long before the person handling offers on the other end, they're also gone home and it's done. And then what it is your bid or your offer expires basically, and then the following day it will go on iBuyFast. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time it goes on iBuyFast for what the seller actually wanted. So I said, you know what? We're going to try it. Screw it. We're just going to go for it. We're going to gamble. I gamble on a lot of stuff in life. When it comes to these cars, I was like, we're going to go for it. So Eddie thought I was crazy. Eddie actually come running over and he's like, oh man, 5,000. I know you're going to take that. And I was like, no, actually not. He's like, have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? Like a 17 F250, you're not going to take the $5,000 offer on it? I was like, no, I'm going to gamble even more to try to get it, a little cheaper to save on the tow. So I counted at 47. It was like 6:30 that afternoon. All of a sudden, my phone go off that the seller accepted my offer. So I'm guessing it was one of the last ones on the to-do list for that afternoon, and they took it. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what we ended up being out the door for this truck.
So on this truck, here's our receipt. I have nothing to hide. There's our address is going to get delivered to. It was financed, so we do have a dealer floor plan account, and there's the bid amount. So the bid amount was 47. Here's all the breakdown of the fees. You can run through them real fast. So the total amount that we financed was $5,597, and there's the breakdown of all of that. There's the total at the bottom. Paid in full, blah, blah, blah. So that's how much we got this truck for out the door.
So we're here today to catch it. Now, how much did it cost me to get this thing transported from Atlanta South, Atlanta, Georgia, to Wilmington, North Carolina? And from there to here is 427 miles. So we paid $450 to get this thing transported here. Now, a friend of mine owns a transporting company. The going rate that you should be paying as a dealer to get vehicles transported right now is $1 a mile. I don't care what the keyboard warriors say or what, they come on here and say, well, my company doesn't do that. My company doesn't do this, or that's way too low, or you can't even break even. I'm telling you, from somebody who lives in this world that does this for a living and has been buying cars, dude, it has been $1 a mile for a couple of years now. Prices go up, gas goes up, whatever. It's been $1 a mile pretty much across the board. These boys are hauling anywhere from 2 to 5, 6, 8, 10 vehicles at a time, depending on their trailer combo. If it's a big rig or if it's, just a hot shot trailer, a flat deck too, Sometimes you pay a little bit more for the trucks, but this time I got it for $1.05. So $1.05 every single mile that she trucks here.
At that price, it's kind of hard for you to take the time away from your family and your business to go get the vehicle yourself. It honestly is. It doesn't make sense, you know, to a point. You know, you might as well just pay somebody. I know for a fact that he's dropping off of me this morning, and then he's got another one to drop off. You know, so I don't know how big this trailer is that's coming, but if you start stacking, you know, a couple loads on one trailer, that's where you're going to make the money, because, you know, $1 a mile on one vehicle, let's say that pays for the fuel. I don't know if it does or not. I'm not doing the calculations. But then everything else you have on the trailer is your profit that you're hauling. So very important as a hotshot guy to keep the trailers loaded. Never ever deadhead a trailer. You don't want dry runs. You don't want deadhead runs. You don't want none of that crap. It's got to be loaded, $1 a mile, couple vehicles. That's what you should be paying. Now, my buddy Jeremy actually has, I think, 3 or 4 trucks with trailers that he runs weekly underneath him. You know, he dispatches and handles all the coordination.
Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Every single truck is running, you know, $1 a mile per unit, and these trucks have anywhere from 2 to 6 units per trailer, depending on the size of the vehicle and the trailer. You can roll in some decent money, but you got to know what you're doing. It's not for everybody. And then you'll have these other companies that hit you up, and they own towing companies. Towing companies are the ones you want to stay far away from if you are a dealer or you're trying to get vehicles transported. You don't want local rollbacks. You don't want rollbacks. You don't want snatch trucks. You want hotshot guys with wedge trailers, you know, or 2-car open deck trailers. Or even big rig guys that own their semi themselves, and they have the 8 to 10 car haulers. You know, them are the boys that hot shots. Them are the ones that you want to go after. So a lot of times when I make these posts, I'm always like, absolutely no towing companies, don't contact me. And you're wasting your time if you contact me and you're just an individual. Unless you have something lined up so you don't deadhead, then you are, you know, you're not gonna make no money. So we're gonna wait for this guy to pull up and check this truck out, get it off the trailer. Looked like it had 2 flats, and I think the reason why it wouldn't run, it was marked as stationary in the auction, I think is actually because the hood stuck. So I didn't catch it until literally Friday. I purchased it on Wednesday, and then me and Eddie were talking, and I went to Eddie and I was like, guarantee I know the reason why it won't start. Hopefully. I was like, there's no pictures of the motor. The hood is not open. I was like, so the hood's probably stuck. They can't put jumper cables on it, jump box on it. They're not going to try to damage the truck to get it open. I was like, so therefore, that's probably the reason why it don't start. It's probably just a dead battery.